I attended the University of Connecticut, studied first computer science, then I went to web development. So I have a minor in computer science and a bachelor's in web development.
You can come here, expand, meet new people. You're open to so many new opportunities. I moved here from the Bronx, New York, and I was the shyest little kid when I started here. I wouldn't talk. I was just really timid and in my own space. And I met Nevada and Steve, and they were like the closest people. I would like be attached to them by the hip and hang with them all the time. And that's how I got more like close and like started talking more. Now James and Melissa mention all the time, Mariah doesn't stop talking. She used to be so quiet.
My name is JAYDA DUPREE, and I'm a 17-year-old junior at the Academy of Information Technology and Engineering High School. My story is not dissimilar from others in the U.S., but more specifically in Stamford, Connecticut. Throughout my childhood, my parents moved several times around Stamford, including from the South End to the West Side. While on the West Side, we only could afford to live in the projects of Connecticut Avenue, which was a small space for our large family. At the age of 7, my parents separated, which introduced a challenging co-parenting situation. My parents worked very hard to keep a roof over our heads and to provide myself and my 7 siblings a better education and other opportunities. For this, I am truly grateful. In order to do this, they had to rely very heavily on the Boys and Girls Club of Stamford to provide affordable childcare. Myself, along with my 7 siblings, we also attended the club since we were 5 years old. At the club, I joined programs like Homework Help to help stay on top of my homework, to help me develop strong character, and to find my passions. The club is my second home. It's a place where I can go to feel protected, loved, and accepted, surrounded by people I consider to be my closest friends and family. After graduating high school, I look forward to attending college with a major in law, specializing in criminal justice, and to represent those who may not otherwise be able to access high-quality legal services to prove their innocence. I believe in being the change that you want to see. I intend to be a mentor for the young ones. I want to be someone who they can trust, share their thoughts and feelings with, and build a relationship with. I want to advise young teens on leading a principle-centered life. In essence, I would like to help members of the club gain the confidence and tools needed to convert their ideas into something tangible. I am grateful for the opportunity to have attended the club, as it has shaped me into who I am today. It's an honor to represent the Boys and Girls Club of Stamford. Thank you, and have a great day.
Welcome to the 10th Annual Champions of Youth event. I'm Andy ZEITLIN, President of the Board of Directors for the Boys and Girls Club of Stamford. Thank you so much for joining us. The tradition of honoring our long-term community partners is one of my personal favorites. The individuals recognized here are truly some of the strongest advocates that we have. They roll up their sleeves and do whatever it takes to make sure our youth can reach their full potential. This event is also the kickoff to our annual appeal. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Your investment changes lives every day. Before I turn the program over, I want to thank all of our supporters, our donors, board members, volunteers, staff, and community partners. I also want to thank our parents and our youth for your continued resilience. Our mission is enormous, so it truly takes all of us coming together. Thank you. And with that, I will turn this over to our CEO, ROWENA.
Thank you, Andy, and hello. I am delighted you're sharing your time with us. Today, we celebrate our champions of youth, and it's our utmost honor to be presenting to you in few minutes such a dedicated group of individuals. Each one of our champions is very special and has given so generously, each in their own way. Every day, I am in awe of their generosity, humanity, selflessness, and dedication to the cause of the Boys and Girls Club of Stamford and to our well-deserving youth. I'm humbled and inspired. It takes a person with a huge heart to do what our champions have done. Champions, thank you for the love you show for the youth of the club. And thank you for tirelessly working to lift up our young members. Because of the generosity and commitment of our champions and of people like you, the club remains a beacon of hope for so many. Our champions help us provide bright futures and opportunities during these extraordinary times. Their generosity, dedication, and support help dreams and aspirations come true for so many of our young members. We will be presenting our champions in few moments.
When Mayor Martin approached the Boys and Girls Club some years back with the proposition that we should get involved in the revitalization of the Yearwood Center, it was a daunting ask, to say the least. The Yearwood Center at the time was shuttered and in bankruptcy. The one thing I recall, though, was that the mayor committed that he would do everything he could to assist us in that daunting process. And now looking back, it has been every bit the challenge we thought it would be, certainly, but it has also been a tremendous success and a real story of shared success. It was the mayor's vision and our hard work and efforts that have allowed the Yearwood Center to become again the wonderful asset to the city that it is. And so I would say to you, Mayor Martin, thank you so much for your vision and for being there for us and for being a man of your word. It has been truly a shared success. Thank you.
Every time there was a reason to celebrate, he was there. When the pool opened, he went in. When we had the grand opening in November of 2015, he was there. So, I do believe that he took great pride in the fact that we were able to create something, to fix a problem. And we took pride in that too. And I think there was a real collegial feeling between Boys and Girls Club and the mayor's office in terms of what we were able to do together. And but the bottom line is the mayor gets the credit for showing the leadership to figure out, to show everybody how we could get there.
A mayor never expects to encounter a pandemic of the magnitude of COVID-19 during their time in office. David Martin was the perfect person to lead Stamford through these difficult times. From the onset, he sprang into action, commandeering his leadership team with bi-weekly meetings and, of course, data analytics to ensure that Stamford did everything it could to minimize the impact of the virus and his mantra, save lives. Testing and vaccines were made available for the masses with a special focus on access for the underserved. The city embarked on a major advertising campaign and, along with family centers, hired community health workers to go door to door educating people about the vaccine. As a sign of his commitment and deep concern for the welfare of our city, David visited almost every one of our 80 pop-up clinics, including several hosted by the Boys and Girls Club at the Yearwood Center. Mayor Martin, thank you for guiding us through this pandemic. You did us proud.
When you think youth champion, you think about an individual who understands the barriers and the hurdles that the young people deal with and how those challenges can be, very detrimental to their life. When you think about youth champion, you think about someone who understands the level of resources that are needed and how it's important to be consistent with those resources and provide those resources in any way possible to make sure that the opportunity for young people to be successful is really there. When you think about a youth champion, you think about an individual who also has to understand that sometimes things need to be in an area that's foreign to them, but necessary for the culture and the process of the constituents that they serve. So when you think about youth champion, David Martin has to come to mind. Through countless nights on Friday evenings with us on the Team Talk, Zoom calls, down to making sure that all the resources that we needed were readily provided and able to be accessible at the Yearwood Center to make sure we keep kids off the streets, guns off the streets, drugs off these streets, and provide an opportunity for our young people who are struggling in several ways on the West Side. Again, when you think about youth champion, you have to think about David Martin because he's been transparent, he's been supportive, he's been engaging, and most of all, he's followed through. The biggest thing of all, he's never said he had all the answers, but he was always willing to listen and support those who felt that they might have a way to get things done.
So, Mayor Martin, you are one of our champions of youth for 2021. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have few questions for you. For 10 years now, the Champions of Youth event has been about recognizing unsung heroes. Often these heroes are people who do the work behind the scenes to make sure youth in our community have what they need to succeed. One substantial accomplishment you spearheaded was rescuing the Yearwood Center. Can you share with us why that was important to you and to the city of Stanford?
Well, there's several reasons behind it. How do we get services to kids in particular, but not only kids, but in particular kids, who may not have the advantages or opportunities that everybody else does? And to me, the West Side, the Yearwood Center, although it had struggled to do this, and we can talk about how well it did it or didn't do it, but nonetheless, the Yearwood Center, it seemed to me, in the spirit of Joyce Yearwood, who was trying to really help that community. And I thought her legacy and the programs that were offered there were something that was not just a political request or a political need or want. It was, in fact, how do we help kids in particular who may not have inherited the opportunities and wealth and support that a lot of other kids in our community or other communities receive. You know, I have strong opinions about a lot of issues, but the most important is if I can find good, strong managers to lead a program forward and they can manage it through all the different aspects of that, that's a win. And, you know, there's various stories about how the Boys and Girls Club came to be the champion. If I may be the champion of youth, thank you very much. But the Boys and Girls Club are really the champion in youth and the champion of the Yearwood Center, because I found someone that I believe could operate that center better than it had ever been operated before. And the Boys and Girls Club, as you probably know, was very reluctant to jump into this without thinking about it through very carefully. And actually, that's a sign of a good manager.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to your leadership, the Yearwood Center is a thriving place now in the community on the West Side. Mayor Martin, I want to recognize you for something that few people know about. I know this thing made such a huge difference. It's the participation on our monthly Teen Talks. In the wake of George Floyd, you gave our kids your Friday nights to ask candid questions that don't always have easy answers. Navigating these incredibly difficult conversations is no easy task. Why did you give us your Friday nights for this purpose?
Because you asked.
All you have to do is ask.
if you're a good cause and good citizens and you're trying to do the right thing, and yes, I was at times annoyed. I'm sorry to say that. Hey, it's a Friday night, Barry. Barry, why you? It was, to me, an extension of I had asked the Boys and Girls Club to do so much, and particularly some of the things that Barry had run were, in my opinion, highly successful at exactly the right times. And if you will, it's a quid pro quo. You know, you guys helped out the city. You helped me out to help the city. So when you asked for these sessions, and they were challenging at times, and they were very challenging. But why did I do it? I did it because I had a partner that had done great things for the Yearwood Center and for the kids in the Yearwood Center. And if you ask me to do something to take out my Friday nights for a few weeks over the course of a year, I can do that. That's part of the way it works.
So Mayor Martin, you're the first mayor ever to lead the city of Stamford through a global pandemic. I have seen your personal commitment firsthand to vaccinating the city. You showed up every Saturday at Yearwood Center, at Bethlehem Church, at other places. You showed up, and that was Saturday mornings. And we see the results really of your commitment and dedication now in the city. What drove you to do that?
I give a simple, but it's my job. You get elected to be the leader of a community, whether it's a small community or a big community. The most important thing is to keep that community safe. And I am in a position to have better information about what the threats are and how to meet those challenges than most people do. And so not that we got it right every time, but I understood what we had to do as a community to keep more people safe. And we had a relatively good understanding of who was going to be most vulnerable.
Mayor Martin, I'm not sure how many people know that your passion for youth extends well beyond the walls of the club. You and your late wife, Judith, started the Starfish Connection, a nonprofit that provides academic support for low-income families. Can you share with us a little bit about that program?
So it was both my late wife's belief and my belief that there were lots of kids who were not getting the opportunities and the success that they had within themselves. The piece that was missing still is that in all of our institutions, and I'm thinking mostly schools, but other institutions as well, there was very few situations where we were longitudinally tracking children from when they were very young to when they actually were graduating from high school and moving on into college or other opportunities. And we could see it in the statistics. And we had started out thinking, oh, something happens in middle school. They go into middle school and they're all right. And they come out of middle school into high school and now they're having trouble. And what we were seeing is, no, it happens before middle school. So we started this program, a 10-year mentoring program, unheard of. Who does that? And it was to follow the child from roughly third grade up through the end of high school. We have to find a 10-year mentor. That's part of the challenge here. But I've been very proud that we've seen almost all of our kids succeed in this program. It's a way of doing what we're able to do. And I'm very proud of what we put together and what Judy did to make this system work.
What a fascinating story. That's very touching. Mayor Martin, there is no question you have been a champion of youth. I have to ask you, what comes next? Aside from a well-deserved vacation, of course.
Well, yes, we're going to take some little vacations. I don't think I'm going to go back to the type of work that I was doing as a senior partner in a small consulting firm. My knowledge and expertise, I think, lends itself well to some of the issues the city is facing. So I don't expect to disappear, but I don't know how that next chapter gets written. We still have a long way to go in terms of rebuilding infrastructure and making this everything this community really can be for everyone that is in it. And that covers a whole gamut of different things. And I'm hopeful that I can some way help.
This is fantastic. Thank you very much, Mayor Martin. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Richard Upton has always been all in when it comes to the Boys and Girls Club of Stanford. He's always thinking of new ways of bringing more people into the club sphere, and he's very successful at doing that. He also really loves to have a good time, and I will be forever grateful for all the times that he helped make our annual fundraiser a huge success, both for our guests and financially. So thank you, Richard, for all that you have done, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to provide the support that our children need to become confident, empowered, and involved citizens. Thank you so very much.
I met Richard in 1998 when he joined ICON. What started out as a business relationship quickly turned into a friendship, and I suggested that Richard become involved in the club. I'm happy to recognize Richard's 20-plus years of dedication and commitment to the Boys and Girls Club of Stanford and take all the credit. Joking aside, Richard, it is with heartfelt gratitude that I thank you and your coworkers at ICON for all your hard work in supporting the club. Your efforts have impacted thousands of children, and not many people can say that, but you can. I am very lucky to call you my friend.
It's my pleasure to welcome Richard Upton of ICON International, one of our champions of youth for 2021. Hi, Richard.
Hey, Rowena, how you doing?
Such a pleasure to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. So, Richard, congratulations on being chosen as one of our champions of youth for 2021.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I know people say this, but really humbled by it.
So, Richard, I have a few questions for you.
Sure.
You and ICON International have been a model partner for the club ever since you were a board member nearly 2 decades ago. You're always generous in everything that you do. Something many may not know is that you often serve as a judge for our hallmark program, Youth of the Year. What does this program mean to you, Richard?
It really changed my perspective because I really got involved in that about 5 years ago when I was asked to judge it. And beforehand, just being on the board or running events, it was really about raising money. I knew what the mission was. You read the mission statements. But when I actually got to interact with 5 or 6 of these children that are applying to be the Youth of the Year and read their stories and talk to them about it and see them as a representation of their club, it totally changed my commitment back to the club in the sense of the work that is being done is so critically important. So for me, being part of that has re-energized what we want to do as a commitment from ICON to the club, to give people the opportunity, to give these kids an opportunity to excel and exceed. And pretty much every choice that we made in the last 5 years have been great choices.
Thank you so much, Richard. For 17 years now, you've truly added a legacy to the club through the annual golf event. Many organizations do golf fundraisers, but very few have generated over $1 million over the years for an event like this one, as much as ICON has. Would you share with us why it was so important to you to build this legacy, even when you completed your board term?
You know, it was something that really, I wasn't involved in the beginning. And then being on the board and doing the club, and then really seeing how much work went into doing an event. And then we eventually took it completely over because we didn't realize all the manpower hours and everything that goes behind it. And the goal was to keep on raising the net dollar amount that goes directly to the club. And this wouldn't have happened if I didn't realize the money was going directly to the operating cost of the club. It wasn't going back to the corporate Boys and Girls Club. Every dollar raised that we've been involved with goes directly back to the club. I know the staff, I know you, and that makes us every year want to kind of raise the stakes of how much. And this is our first year, maybe our second year, we broke $100,000 netting. And we're committed to continue doing that going forward.
Excellent, thank you. Richard, I want to recognize your leadership at ICON. ICON is the only organization named a top workplace by Hearst Media for an astounding 10 years now. Even at BGCS, at the Boys and Girls Club of Stanford, we see your leadership. We see how you galvanize the support of your team. You and many of your colleagues feel like family to us. Can you share with us your secret to building a culture of community engagement?
It's really, really simple. People that you work with that you respect, that are happy and love what they do, give 110%. And it's how Icon has been run. I have this incredible support of Chick and John, who own our business that I've been working for 23 years old, that truly live this and believe this.
Thank you. Richard, is there anything else at this occasion that you would like to add?
When you actually see what you do, Sam does, Max does, and really James and Jeff, the impact and change that you make on people's lives is just astounding, and it's heartwarming, and it makes you realize that this isn't just about let me get some more money or let me get out of my comfort zone and ask somebody for some money. There's a really true great purpose behind it, and I see how it changes people's lives. And being involved with the organization for 20 years, you've seen where these people have grown in development, and that is just kudos to the Boys and Girls Club of the efforts that you put in. And I've seen the change in the club over 20 years between the additions of the Gary Went Clubhouse, taking on the Yearwood Center, and then getting through COVID and having to manage through the process of that and keeping the employees safe, giving a safe place for the employees, recognizing that domestic violence is increasing. The school, they're out of school more. They don't have the support systems in place to succeed. And we've been living this for 2 years. So if there's a time right now for anyone to donate money, now is the time to do it. I encourage everybody, if you have extra money in your pocket, or if you're even a little embarrassed to ask somebody for money because they don't want to talk to you, do it. The cause is incredible. And it's worth every getting out of your comfort zone to be able to do this for such an incredible organization. And Rowena, you've been phenomenal. I mean, you've taken over during COVID, and your leadership has been really, really inspired Icon and me to give as much as we possibly can. So I thank you.
Thank you. Richard, one thing I remember you told me when I first started is that you had just been a judge for one of the Youth of the Year programs for us. And you said after the event, you took the youth out for lunch, and you really enjoyed spending time with them. That really brings the humanity in you, that it's not a mechanical event. It's not like you're done with the event, let me go on to the next thing. You did something meaningful for the kids. And I was really very impressed with that.
Thank you I mean, the first year I did that was I took out all the kids that had submitted their names to be Youth of the Year. And then whoever they wanted to bring along with them, because I think they should all be celebrated.
Yeah.
I mean, life is you win and you lose, and you learn a lot much more from losing than winning.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that they felt recognized, that they put themselves out there to be the Youth of the Year, and that that effort was rewarded.
Yeah, to me, it really said a lot about you, and I'm like, I have a true partner in Richard.
Yeah, I feel like I have that with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rowena.
Karen, congratulations on being named a champion of youth. For 10 years now, we have been taking the opportunity to recognize champions of youth who truly go above and beyond for the kids. For example, for the past 5 years, you have organized the King Cares 5K and helped us receive some proceeds for our Keystone Club. Why did you choose us to partner for this event?
Well, thank you. And I'm so truly honored to be recognized. I did want to take a moment to mention that there certainly is a team of students and colleagues, which also includes members of the Boys and Girls Club, who do help me with King Cares, and I feel do share this honor with me. King and the Boys and Girls Club are neighbors, both located in the Stamford community. King values our partnership and the activities that we do with the Boys and Girls Club. And it's through those activities that students from both programs interact with each other and learn from each other. Those interactions certainly have generated ideas for newer activities over the past few years. And the idea for some of the proceeds for the King Cares 5K to go to the Boys and Girls Club was initiated by a group of King students who were helping to organize the 5K a few years ago and wanted to help other students in our local community.
All right, Karen. So during COVID, you helped us organize virtual sessions to give our teens a platform where they could express themselves and discuss serious issues. Why did you feel that was so important?
So James, Kendall, and I, for a few years now, have been talking about providing opportunities for teens from both programs to have a forum for discussions. Teens all face some of the same issues, regardless of what school or town they are in. And we just felt that this was the right time to get the teens together. Experiencing a global pandemic was certainly a unique experience, and all teams were figuring out how best to navigate.
Karen, we consider you a true friend. You are genuine, caring, and have always gone out of your way to donate items and help the club recruit volunteers. Can you share why this is so important to you to help youth in the community?
Well, kids are naturally curious. They care about others, eager to learn, certainly like to solve things, and truly have the best ideas. I do enjoy working with students of all ages and helping them to develop their skills, and also to feel confident and empowered to execute their ideas. When students feel successful or see their ideas be a reality, I feel it helps them also discover areas of interest, see their strengths, as well as how they can be positive agents of change, and also to see how it makes a difference in their lives and the lives of others.
We want to thank you for helping coordinate tutors for our kids during the pandemic. As you know, learning was so difficult in this environment. Can you share a little more about that initiative and where you think we can go from here?
So prior to COVID, we had students who were regularly going to the Yearwood Center, and they were helping in the reading and homework room, as well as participating in activities in the gym. Those students did not want to lose that connection because of COVID, and they really wanted to figure out how best they could stay connected. The students are very eager to want to get back into person. They are thinking of ideas that are sports related or for future teen conversations. And I feel that continue to provide the students from both programs with the opportunity to connect, to talk, to share their interests is really what guides and helps develop future collaborations and also deepen this wonderful partnership we have with the club.
So Danielle, for those who don't know, can you share what Food Rescue do, not just for us, but for the community?
Food Rescue US rescues healthy excess food from grocery stores, restaurants, bakeries, schools, corporate cafeterias, and farms. We have a strong community base of volunteers who help bring this food directly to our social service agencies in need, like the Boys and Girls Club. And we do all this by connecting the food donors, the volunteers, the social service agencies through our web-based app that you can find at foodrescue.us. And we currently are connecting 119 social service agencies and 215 food donors in Fairfield County.
Thank you, Danielle. Food Rescue strengths is to help hunger and food waste. Can you share how that mission has been successful in the Stanford community and who is involved?
In 2020, we provided 1.2 million meals to our agencies in Fairfield County. We saved 1.4 million pounds of food from landfills, reducing the methane gases that are harming our planet. This year, at the end of the third quarter, we have actually doubled the number of meals for over 3 million meals that is going out to the food insecure in Fairfield County. This equates to over 3 million pounds of food that's saved from landfills, which is quite an impact by our amazing volunteers.
During the peak of the pandemic, we witnessed food insecurities and how it can affect an individual's physical and mental health. Can you share a story of how Food Rescue decreased food insecurities in our youth?
One of our food donors, Synchrony Financial, needed to close its corporate cafeteria during the pandemic when its employees were working from home. They are a long-term partner of ours, and they called to see if we could work out a partnership where they would continue to keep their chefs and staff employed so they could create high-end nutritious meals for our agencies that serve children. We received feedback that these gourmet box lunches helped the children feel that people really cared about them, improving both their mental and physical health, and that gave them hope.
Lastly, I know your dedication to youth is not complete. Can you share your goals for how to expand the impact?
Our goals for next year are to increase food donations by encouraging more food providers to give their excess food to local social service agencies feeding the food insecure. Some towns and cities are working on food waste initiatives that are a strong push from the local government to have businesses donate their healthy surplus food.
That's great. We look forward to that. Thank you so much for providing all the services to the Stanford community and for providing the services to the Boys and Girls Club of Stanford.
Well, thank you, Maribel. We really enjoy working with the Yearwood Boys and Girls Club and love to continue our partnership.
Great. Thank you.
So much still remains to be done. We're looking to you to be one of our future champions. With your support and dedication, the club will rise and overcome the challenges that we face. Thank you.